Yeah. So, hey, good transition by you. Yeah. So, this is back to the whole hashtag Richard Hart was right thing. So, and the guy playing 4D chess, and this is where people get annoyed by followers of Richard Hart because it's like, why do you guys praise him so much? And this may be one of the reasons why. So, there are new EU proposed crypto and DeFi regulations on the horizon, and actually, I will. Let me copy the actual article and I'm going to send it to you, Ewok, if you want to share it on your screen. It's up to you, but I'm looking at something from Cointelegraph. It says DeFi may struggle to stay decentralized, which is funny, after new EU law. It says DeFi's exemption from MiCA regulation may fade as an update target protocols with centralized components. The sector could split between hybrid and DeFi models. Let me get to that. Wasn't really part of the article. New regulations in the European Union may soon force decentralized finance protocols to make tough decisions. At the heart of the issue is the tendency of many DeFi protocols to have centralized front ends and intermediaries. The EU's markets and crypto assets regulation, which will come into full force by the end of 2024. Luckily, we don't have that here, will require DeFi protocols to adhere to the same licensing as know your customer requirements as traditional financial services firms, a burden many DeFi protocols may be unable and unwilling to bear. Yeah, because it isn't DeFi. According to MakerDAO co-founder Rune Christensen, only full decentralized local downloaded front ends or full KYC online front ends would be possible. All right, so listen to that first part. Only fully decentralized local downloaded front ends, which we happen to have in Pulse Chain.
Imagine that.
Yeah. It says this leaves DeFi protocols with a choice: either pivot to a somewhat centralized hybrid finance, hi-fi, they call it, model to comply with EU regulations, or decentralize entirely. I think we've done one of those two things. It says true DeFi is exempt from MiCA. Within the actual EU regulation, fully decentralized protocols are exempt from falling into the MiCA requirements, as mentioned in Recital 22, where crypto asset services are provided in a fully decentralized manner without any intermediary. They should not fall within the scope of this regulation. So that pretty much lays it out. I'm not going to read the rest of it. I don't think there's much point. This is just the EU. This isn't the United States. But
for now,
very interesting that one Richard Hart just a mere months ago to, most people didn't care. A few complained about it. If we want to name them, we can. Although if you pay any attention, you may know who they are. But basically, Pulse Chain, I won't say it was Richard Hart, but someone within Pulse Chain decided to provide IPFS links, making this basically locally run. You could also download each and every one of the programs, the bridge, PulseX, the DEX. You can, and that's what I've done. That's the only way that I've used them. I think you're the same way, Ewok. It's the only way I've used them now for months. I download it locally on my PC and run it from there. You're not even connected to the internet at that point. You're just running it locally. Right here, even in this, potential deal from the EU, they are citing that would be true decentralization and that it would be exempt from this stuff. So did Richard Hart see this stuff coming down the pike? Those changes were made when we were at enormous red candles and everybody was already in a negative mood anyway. But I think this is awesome. It's like 2 extra clicks. That's what a lot of us were saying all along, to be able to use this in true decentralized fashion. So, yeah, what do you make of these potential rulings from the EU and the fact that Pulse Chain has already passed it?
I think it's, I think it's a testament to Richard being, again, 2 or 3 steps ahead. He probably heard about this coming. The man does a lot of research. He knows a lot of things. And he's always thinking chess moves, right? How many steps ahead can I be and figure this out before it becomes a problem? And he did precisely that, so I don't know. It goes on to say something here about smart contracts that are used in the provision of a crypto asset service are in themselves not even suitable to create the appearance of exclusive decentralization, which is a weird statement. I don't understand. It says one thing up here where, it says fully decentralized protocols are exempt, but then it goes down to here and smart contracts aren't suitable. So, they're kind of they're doing what Gary does and talks
Right.
in circles a little bit. So I don't think they have completely decided. But again, it goes. The moral of the story is this is testament to why Richard's done the things he's done.
Mhm.
And yes, the Karens out there who complained about it, the gold ones
The silver,
especially.
I was gonna say the silver Karens, the gold Karens, whatever. Yeah.
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 There's a reason for it, guys. And he took care of that whole thing because now you can download it, run it locally on your machine, and not need any of this stuff. So just such a smart play. I'm always impressed. I don't want to be a fangirl here, but
Oh, here he goes,
um
sucking up to RH again.
well,
God with
it's
this
just
guy.
it's crazy to me how many times that little things like this pop up that
Yeah.
well, there it is. He thought about it. He know he made this call ahead of time, months ahead of time. Was he getting some inside information from somebody saying, "Hey, this is coming. You might want to take care of this now"? Possibly. But still, he had the foresight to do it. And now it's working perfectly. So kudos to him, man.
Mhm.
It's just testament to say, man, we're in the right place with the right founder because he's looking out for people, trying to save your ass. He doesn't want you to have to give up your personal information. Why? So it can just get leaked, just like the ledger, all that stuff. All these people that have collected all your info over time. How many times do you see that they've been breached or hacked, and now you're part of a multi lawsuit? That says here, give you a free credit check and three
Mhm.
dollars and 22 cents or something like that for getting your information stolen. He
Right.
doesn't want us to be a part of that, man. He's looking out for people, and once people truly understand that and see it, the world will be a much better place, and Pulse Chain will definitely get even more adoption because of it. So I'm happy with it. I'm pleased with it, and yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And I don't even think it has to be that he, had people on the lookout for stuff like this and ears to the ground. I mean, maybe he did, but I mean, he's very abreast of what is going on with crypto regulation throughout the world, really. I mean, like you
Yeah,
can tell, I mean, since he's been, tweeting a lot about like regulation within the United States and helping out crypto lawyers and stuff like that, the guy knows more than your average crypto founder, it seems. So,
yeah,
yeah, I'm sure that that was a layup for him to know that this was potentially down the line. And it's just so funny that, like, within that documentation we just saw from the EU, they actually go out of their way to, and again, you're right, talking out of both sides of their mouth, and how much do they really even understand about the industry, also. But they go out of their way to specifically say that basically what we have running on Pulse Chain would be exempt. Like, that actually is DeFi.
yeah.
There's no centralized front end. Um, it's awesome, and it just makes me like more happy to even be involved in it. And again, people could talk about like, and again, these are only people already within the Pulse Chain ecosystem, but people talk about like the complexities of like, oh, nobody's going to want to do that. They're not going to download a program and do this and do that. I mean, at the point that you already are willing to even get into DeFi, you're a bit of a freak. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're a little bit of,
a
you're
little
interested in
weird.
this. You're a little weird. Like all of us. You're really wanting to be in this industry. Retail are people who is like, oh yeah, I bought Ethereum and staked it on Coinbase or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
those people have no idea. Like, they're not
Robin
gonna.
Hood.
Yeah, like they're like, oh yeah, or Robinhood. They're like, oh yeah, well, I know what the idea of a wallet is, but I kind of have one, but I don't really understand it. Like, they literally don't even have a wallet. So if you're at the point that you're like, even if you're not dealing with Pulse Chain, even if you're in like AVAX or Phantom or Matic or whatever, Polygon, you have at least taken another step, Solana, to get into a new network and be doing stuff in DeFi. So I think once you've gone that far, what do they say? Once you go, well, I won't go down that road, but once you go that far, I mean, I think you're willing to keep going. Basically,
And
it's the
no coming
gateway
back.
drug. Yeah,
Something
the
like
gateway,
that.
right? The gateway drug of DeFi, basically. So, yeah, basically, I guess Pulse Chain's the heroin. I don't really know what you would call that, but in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, good
Cool.
stuff.
Cool.
Do you have
Yeah.
any final thoughts on that topic? I love that. We've just kind of seen that over the
No.
last couple of days. It's great, though.
Yeah, it just gives me more confidence in the choice that I've made to be a part of this, part of this ecosystem. And
Yeah.
again, it's just very reassuring to see something like that come out. Be like, there you go. We're already
I totally
covered.
agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah, we're already there. We don't have to worry about anything. So,
Yeah.